Welcome everybody to the world famous Grauman's Mann's Chinese Theater. We are at the Hollywood premiere of the Prince of Persia Sands of Time. I'm Laura Solomon with Access Hollywood with my co-host Scott Movie Mance.
Scott Movie Mance. What separates Jerry Bruckheimer from other producers that you've worked with?
Well, one of the things that separates him is that he leaves you alone.
Well, that's good.
For the first 2/3, okay? And then the last third, when you're in the cutting room, he doesn't leave you alone at all. Not one bit.
I think he is such a fantastic filmmaker, and what a great visionary, and what a nice guy. And so it's the very least I could do to be here and participate in honoring him.
How often have people in the years since Top Gun came out in 1986?
Oh, don't say it.
Okay.
I know, just sang that song?
Who sings "You've Lost That Loving Feeling"? How often did that happen?
Oh, way too much. Way too much. And now I just say, please don't. Please don't.
Jerry Bruckheimer is just one of the most successful filmmakers of all time. What makes him different as a producer from other producers you've worked with?
Well, he has incredible taste and a really good eye. He can see things before anybody else is aware of it. Like he's made people's careers, in terms of the actors, given them their first chance, and then, he gives a chance to things as well, But as well, he's a perfectionist. He does not stop until it is right. And I think, when you're spending the amount of money that he spends on his movies and his TV work, then you have to be meticulous, and he really does not stop. And I think I really admire him for that, being a scatty English girl who's like, oh yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, it was 52 degrees centigrade. We're about 100 miles from the Sahara Desert. I was riding a horse. If you've ever ridden a horse, it's like a radiator. It emits heat constantly, it's sweating all the time. I was wearing 18 kilos of armor. And if you've ever been to Morocco, they have a dish called a tagine. It's a spiral dish, it's a high pot, it boils in a certain way. My helmet was that shape. I had chainmail down the back. Not to complain, I love this whole thing, by the way. Then a wig, 18 kilos of armor, as I said, then a leather cape. 12 hours.
So
See, this is the payoff.
Looking good,
Yeah,
right?
this is the payoff. That's why I'm so thin. I sweated it all out.
We're very fortunate to be able to be part of the family, the Bruckheimer family. Obviously, he's a person who does wonderful popular films and moral films for the family. There's a certain stature in his films, and he reminds us of the greatness of many things of this country. And so it's wonderful to be part of the family, and I'm so proud and honored to be able to call him my friend.
You can't get much bigger than a Bruckheimer film, especially if it's directed by Mike Newell, who will bring something of a classic to it. And Jerry also loves the films that were made in the 50s and 60s, the great classic Hollywood films that are character-driven, not action-driven. Now, this is an action movie, but at its heart, it's a wonderful character-driven movie too. So it's a joy to be here.
This is very different from anything that I've done, and I think that's why I like it. I mean, it proved itself difficult in a lot of, in terms of an actor, but also just in a physical sense. And so I like that. I always like a challenge, and I would love to make more big action films. It's great fun, and I love having fun. And this movie was, it's fun to watch. It was fun to make, and why not try it again?
How difficult was it making this film?
Well, it was obviously such a huge organizational thing. And obviously the training we had to do for the fights was a massive, there's probably 3 weeks of training for each small section of fights. So not only do we have to be physically in shape, learn lines and do all that stuff, we had to learn to horse ride, which was a month of working with these these Argentinian and Spanish guys who are 7 generations of horse riding trainers. So they were the best in the world. So we had to go every morning, horse ride, fight, eat, do lines, rehearse, and again every day. So it was a major thing.
It's actually easier for me to write for a movie because I'm sort of taking on the role of, in this case, the lead female character in the movie. So I just pretend I'm her for 4.5 minutes, and I write about what I would imagine she was thinking about throughout the whole journey. So it's easier because if I'm writing about me, it's a little more vulnerable. In this case, it's sort of an offering and a service to the story.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Of the decade.
I'm with you, Scott and Laura. I'm,
we
I'm
love
the lucky
him.
one.
Everybody said you were like the nicest guy in Hollywood, and FYI, I agree.
I just remember coming here when I was a kid and looking at all those famous people I admired on screen. And now I'm a part of that history, and I just admire them so much. And it's something that that you don't ever expect in your life, that some dreams that you dream about will come true. And it's not because of me, because it's all about the people I've worked with. It's all about these great actors and fabulous writers and directors that really pulled it off, and everybody else that I'm involved with. I'm just fortunate enough to gather these people together and have them work with me. It's never easy. It's the same, it's like starting a business. It's like climbing a mountain. You start at the bottom and you fight the same struggles, just with different people, until you get to the top. And you never know if you're going to win or not. You're never going to plant the flag. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So we're starting Pirates, in June, and it's the same battles all over again. It's a budget battle. It's it's a whole thing. It starts all over again.
What is it about Jerry Bruckheimer that separates him from other producers that you've worked with?
His integrity. I think that he has a very clear idea of what he wants to do and make creatively. And I think, I remember he said something once about, I make movies about things that people have heard about but don't know everything about.
That's a good quote.
And I've never forgot that, because I thought that was just really, really smart. You know what I mean? I think that's a good way, a good philosophy about making films. And I see him as like such a strong American that makes, he makes movies that you want to go see, that allow you to escape, that allow you to feel an emotion, but to feel comedy as well, and feel joy, and feel a lot of different things, but, in the Jerry Bruckheimer way.
I think what's really good about Jerry is the way that he's able to oversee things, and he puts the right people in to do the projects that he wants to be involved in. But that nothing goes past him without him saying, this is how I want to do it.